So I guess one thing that's really on a lot of people's minds right now is, and I saw you post recently about it, this birthright citizenship uh,
Yeah.
case that Trump is taking to the Supreme Court, basically trying to unconstitutionally get rid of birthright citizenship so he can deport whoever he wants to. I mean, what are your most recent thoughts about it?
To be honest with you, I've been a little annoyed about how much black people has internalized and eaten that alt-right conservative points about immigration and specifically being real about how they don't give a damn about what's being said about birthright citizenship. In our country, we know that there's been an assault on education, and I believe that assault on education has literally concluded into niggas not making good analysis or conclusions about how the potential ending birthright citizenship, how they impact black people. But I want to know for everybody to watching is like, hey, listen, man, the Dred Scott decision is something that we talked about in school. When they made that 7-3, 7-2, you know what I'm saying, decision, they had said that the Constitution is not intended for black people. The word citizen was not intended for or intended to be accounted for citizens. We know what overturned the Dred Scott decision, right? It was the 14th Amendment that gave black people birthright citizenship. So we, you know what I'm saying, can point out that black people are the most criminalized. We the most targeted. And this man, Donald Trump, done already said he gonna be deporting the enemy within, and he gonna be starting with the homegrown criminals. Who's most likely to see themselves as being criminals? Black people. Let's think about it right this. I know you in Oklahoma City. What I know in Oklahoma City is black people and Latinos, you know what I'm saying, are put in the same, you know what I'm saying, neighborhoods and or are always in proximity to the same neighborhoods.
Right.
Whether you in South Oklahoma City, you in East Oklahoma City, you know there's some undocumented people that's in your neighborhood or that's around your neighborhood. If
Mhm.
we know we bringing police in into the neighborhood, you don't think ICE targeting these people gonna also make it hit you? One last thing for this drink. I've been really annoyed by this, as you can tell, Dion. Also, someone think about it. Not only do a lot of black people don't know the difference between a Haitian or a Jamaican or African American, then white folks don't either. So if you think that you speak perfect English, and we can acknowledge that there are already American citizens that speak perfect English as well, that happen to be Latino getting deported, your black ass is next. And then for real, the last thing I'm about to be doing a video today about this black teenager that's illegally selling flowers without an ID or a license.
Mhm.
So he, a black teenager, has had the mass immigration, you feel me, propaganda literally being deployed against him because he didn't have ID.
Mhm. And see, that's what I don't get, and I've tried, from a journalism perspective, I understand this kind of tension where some people are just like, well, we done always taken care of everybody else, so now it's time for us to just focus on ourselves. And I tried to kind of gently show those connections that you just explained that like what happens to them can absolutely happen to us. The very same amendment that gave us our freedom is what he's trying to undo. That's what I don't get. What are they telling you that like when they're arguing with you, what are they saying that is why they just don't care?
I mean, a lot of people really don't. I think that a lot of people down south uniquely has drunk the Kool-Aid of the alt-right speaking points. So they're gonna talk about, hey, these Mexican people, these Latino people, these immigrants, they're still in our jobs. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna talk about, the different ways that they believe that, they are being impeded on and or being replaced. Sound like the great replacement theory to me, like the white supremacists say. So it's really just like there is very surface level conclusions that's made about immigrant people that they got from white folks. You just literally repeating Fox News speaking points. You know what I'm saying? That's really how I go with them. I'm being real with you. Most people that I go back and forth with, especially in person, by the time they figure out that I know way more about this than they do,
Mhm.
they, you know what I'm saying? It's like either you double down on your ignorance, well, I just believe what I believe, or you be real and be like, you know what, I ain't see it that way. I didn't know all that was to it. And that was just the two main responses to me being like, hey, the notion of citizenship and birthright citizenship in this country is structured by the black experience. There is no concept of birthright citizenship without the
Yeah.
black experience.
Yep.
That's the reason why those justices said specific. I almost want to read it to. I literally just made the video about. I want to just, you know what I'm saying, just cause I know people gonna be watching this. And, at heart, I like to be an educator. I know I can be a condescending bastard sometimes, but at heart, you know what I'm saying, I want to educate. You know, and
Of
this is
course.
what I just want to say right here. Just reading it because you know education's elevation. In March 1857, the Supreme Court issued a 7-2 decision against Dred Scott. In an opinion written by Chief Justice Roger Taney, the court ruled that people of African descent are not included and were not intended to be included under the word citizens in the Constitution, and therefore cannot claim none of the rights or privileges which the instrument, the Constitution, provides or secures for citizens. Right now, all the arguments they're making about why they cannot give immigrants due process, the reason why they can do what they want to do with them is because they don't view them as being citizens and therefore they have no rights and privileges protected for them under the Constitution. That's the same exact thing that Massa and them, that the colonizers and them, you know, I ain't got to go back that far. That's the same exact thing that them all right people saying right now.
Mm.
Like literally right now.
Well, May 15th is when we have the first oral arguments in that case. So I guess we'll start to see, where the court is going after that hearing. All I know is I'm starting to, think I need to bring my passport with me just wherever I go at this point, like to be straight up.
Definitely. Definitely. Like me seeing what's going on. Yeah, for sure. Because
Mm.
then right now is you're supposed to have a little star at the corner of your driver license or ID for it to be considered a real ID. And just shit, seeing right now it's like, hey, if ICE can look at a Latino person that's born and raised in America and they give them a social security card, a birth certificate, and they still deport their ass or have them in detention center, yeah.
And you made me just realize it just literally happened in Oklahoma, two cases back to back that shows the connection that you're talking about. We had the ICE raid on the wrong family, right? And that made national news, and they said, well, it was the right house, you know. And then just last week we had a black family. OKC police raided the wrong home. It was like two doors down where they were supposed to be looking for, and they had this little girl and her mom and her brother out there just with their hands up.
They
It's
underwear.
like, how do y'all not see that?
Um, I am baffled in the ways that intersectionality or the way that struggles interconnected, like how people ain't seeing it. You know what I'm saying? And for me being real, it's like, man, and you know how I talk, so it is what it is. A
Mhm,
lot of you niggas was Wakanda forever.
mhm.
A lot of you niggas is dancing to Afro beats and talking about this and talking about that. You talking about and celebrating the African diaspora. You know what I'm saying? And then you turn around and saying you don't care about black immigrants.
Mhm.
We only got to focus on us. So you think that you're special in America because the boat dropped you off in America, or because some slave master bought you in America and your ass didn't go to Jamaica or Costa Rica or Colombia? It's like, hey, so you really believe in the exceptionalism of, so you really believe that the foundation of America care about your black ass so much you should damn near bang like a gang. I'm a foundational black American. I also reject those sentiments. And it's being real with you, that's really right now what I've been the most annoyed with. It used to be the Hebrew Israelites. You feel me? The Hebrew Israelites used to get on my nerves. My mom made a whole bunch of ahistorical claims, started to deny, you feel me, African heritage, started to make a whole bunch of, ahistorical claims about the Bible and King James is black and, Egypt mean bondage and, you know what I'm saying? That shit, you know what I mean? Now it's the FBA,
Yeah.
also known as Foundational Black Americans, and this we the real Indians.
Mhm.
We been here. There ain't no African slave trade, ain't no boats. Look at this diary right here. They said there was of copper skin. Who else got copper skin other than us? And it's like, hey, listen, man. I just happen to have a degree, a master's degree at that in human relations. Do you know that the equator goes around the world? The equator, it goes around the world.
And
So
they
if you
never
look,
got They never got documentation. I mean, like there are black and native people.
swear
Oklahoma
to
is an
God,
example of that, right?
yes.
But there's the only proof the only evidence they ever have for their claims is a documentary on YouTube or a tweet.
Or a historical portrait that depicts a large nose and big lips and dark skin. And for me, it's like, hey, if the equator goes all the way around, I know a lot of y'all don't believe in DNA, you don't believe in type of research, but it's like, hey, the Melanesian people of, you feel me, the Pacific Islands, they
Mm.
they black. but their DNA is closer to not Africans than something else than not Africans. You see what I'm saying? So if a motherfucker believe that Black Americans or Africa corners the market on being dark skinned, it's like to me, it's like it's not as clever as they think it is. It's just
Right,
not.
right. I mean, education is elevation, and I guess some people want to choose how they want to be educated.
Or to me, it'd be like you so lost in the sauce of anti-blackness that you FBA believe that you are justifiable in being anti-black towards other black people because hey, you're not American.
Damn.
Black aboriginals, yo so lost in the sauce of African, some anti-blackness, y'all rather be anything but African. To the point where you're willing to erase and ignore history.
Mhm.
Like you believe the Atlantic slave trade was a lie. We was already here. They tricked us. They reclassified us to being Negroes. See, this right here say in Jamestown, they only brought 500 slaves. So how could 500 slaves like you know that this triangular trade they taught us about, you know, it lasted for like a couple hundred years. So them telling you the James Project or this is like it's to me it just be like a lot of ahistorical shit. And right now I feel like birthright citizenship and talking about immigration being a black issue
Mhm.
has made these two groups uniquely come out the woodworks.
Mhm. Well, I don't know if it's just me, but the FBA crowd been kind of quiet on my feed ever since Trump's been elected, and they've been real quiet about all the shit he's been doing. But you talked about the diaspora, and I wanted to talk about a figure that is actually uniting people across the diaspora right now. Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso. Let's talk about it. You've been posting about it. He's been talking about assassination attempts against him, and he's been rallying people across the continent and really across the world. Um, what are your thoughts about him?
I think that we all gotta watch what the Western world says and does to Burkina Faso and you know Captain Traore. You know what I'm saying? My thoughts on it is that that region of West Africa, the Sahel, I think is what I'm saying what it's called.
Yeah.
That region is what props Western economy up. The Western economy right now, especially ain't shit without the technological like this tech revolution, this tech advancement, this tech industrialization. The way we were dependent on tech. We'll be talking about AI, we'll be talking about phones, electric cars, MacBooks, anything with electronics. We know that it has to be done through this particular region. We're talking about the cobalt, we're talking about the lithium, we're talking about the uranium. It's a lot of natural resources that's needed for Western societies to prop themselves up. Captain Trio ain't going for none of that shit, and he's acknowledging that the only reason why Burkina Faso is in the way they are is because people like the French and people like America always try to. The word I learned was instability. You know, stability means stable. Well, the Western world, United States, France, they always want to incentivize instability because that's how they take advantage of them. So when I learned about Patrice Lumumba is one of the like the first elected person. You feel me? No, no, he wasn't the first. He was an elected president of Burkina Faso. Bro got assassinated in 1987. 1987. I'm 34. I turned 35 in December.
Hmm.
Captain Traore is like 38 years old. He's the second youngest head of a state in the whole entire world.
Hmm.
So for me, it's like when General Langley of the United States says that Captain Traore is trying to steal the gold for him. Not only is it a gaslighting that tries to justify intervention, because then Traore even talk about it. When Western countries come to us, they always come in the skies of freedom, democracy. Yeah, I can't remember the third thing, but it's like, yeah, these are all the words y'all throw around and say y'all bringing in. So if y'all don't allow for African people to control African resources to be the main beneficiary of African resources, and you see it as a threat to the global economy, that's
Hmm.
showing y'all the reason why we got to pay attention to Burkina Faso, but also showing y'all the reasons why there's a manufactured narrative that says that African countries are always already corrupt, that African people are always already dumb, mismanaging funds, that African people always already don't know how to even take care of their own land. All those things is also a way that us African Americans buy into anti-blackness, thinking that people from the continent that they dumb, they stupid, they do what I'm saying because
Right.
there's narratives that's being manufactured for us to believe that. So when we recognize that a lot of our grandparents is older than a lot of the nation states in Africa, they just got their independence.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
me? The Europeans brought that shit in. You know what I'm saying? So shit, if you got a grandma that's 80, your grandma is like your grandma is older than a lot of these African countries' independence. Now they say that they had independence, but the word I'm gonna use is neocolonialism, the
Yeah.
new ways that folks try to colonize shit.
Yep.
The new ways of colonizing shit is I'm gonna give you some loans and I'm gonna add crazy interest rates on them and I'm gonna own your shit. Or neocolonialism is gonna say, hey man, I'm gonna create this factory here in your village, but shit, I'm gonna give y'all 80 cents, you feel me, per pound of uranium, but I'm gonna go back to France and sell it for 200 euros. You know what I'm saying? So it's different ways they do it. And last thing I say when it comes to Burkina Faso and Traore, what they're doing is they're incentivizing people of African descent, people in Africa, to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And because he's trying to create policies and practices around making it where the African people of Burkina Faso can be self-sufficient, that is a literal threat to France, to America, because they need those natural resources. I'm talking to y'all right now on a MacBook. This MacBook not possible, you feel me, without this area. From Congo all the way up to the Sahel, from Central Africa all the way up to the Sahel, hey, this the region that they need. And that's the reason why they keep on killing. They killed Patrice Lumumba because he was trying to do the same thing that Trio was doing. He was giving free education. He was kicking out the white Europeans. He was making it where they own their own minds, making it where they control their own minds. And them folks didn't like that. So what they did was, it's like they do in the hood. You talk about snitches, talk about how people get incentivized to fuck over your fellow person in the hood. Same thing, man. Person's gonna try to get you to sell out. Captain Trior has a security guard, security, you know what I'm saying, a person that's looking after him, and talk about how a particular country offered him $5 million to kill his captain while they was praying, and that they would help out him and his family in their country. So when we think about even how niggas get down here, hey, Malcolm X was killed by one of people look like us.
Yeah.
Or how Malcolm X said it. They gonna find somebody to kill us that look like us so they can say that somebody look like us did it type shit. So it's like even right now, it's like Uganda, you feel me, Rwanda, and the way those countries are engaged and interact with Congo
Yeah.
via resources and guns, they come from over here. It's like this is what we got going on in Africa, man. And
It's
right now,
happening. It's happening right now. And you said it, you talked about like how they'll have a black face to present this, and they love doing that. Like even when you think about the United Nations votes on the Gaza genocide, and how they had that black woman, I think Linda Thomas Greenfield, continuing to vote against it, and now they got this General Langley basically setting up a pretext to invade Burkina Faso. And I want to say like this reminds me of Gaddafi in Libya. And I have bought into the Kool-Aid when Obama was president, and he was talking about how Gaddafi was hurting his people and doing all of this, and they had to go in and do what they did. And the way that they killed that dude and made it a whole spectacle, when all he was really trying to do was the same thing that Ibrahim Traore is trying to do right now. And I remember the first time I even met you was you were at OU on the South Oval, and you were talking about Gaddafi, and you had a crowd around you. You were educating people about it, and I was just walking to class and I happened to stop by and listen to you talking about it. And it's crazy how it's like history's repeating itself.
definitely. And it's also crazy that Muammar Gaddafi warned the Arab world and the African world that what America did to Saddam Hussein and what America does in creating these narratives is all about being able to control the global economic. So once you start trying to stabilize African countries, once you start trying to make, because once I learned that, what is it, the pack, the global pack that's really mainly made of, it's the UN that's mainly made. Hold on, what's the so America is cool with like Poland right next to Russia. What is what I'm
Hmm.
talking? What's the thing called right now, journalists? You know what I'm talking about
The
right now.
Five Eyes with like the spine countries.
Nah, not the spine countries. The way that the European countries create kinship amongst nation states, and they call it some shit.
Oh,
Russia, all
NATO.
around. NATO. I get NATO. You feel me? NATO is about European kinship and about European nations coming together to trade with each other and make sure they get together to fuck over whatever region they want to. That's NATO. You feel me? The North Atlantic Trade Agreement. I don't know if I'm talking about that. Is that no? I'm talking about. I'm thinking of. I have to look at it. I gotta think about it. But there is a global entity of European countries that come together to say fuck Russia, and they come together to be able to
Yeah.
control the economic global. That same way that they created kinship amongst themselves across nation states, they do not want that with Africa. That's the reason why they try to incentivize. Hey, I seen an African dude talk about it. If a French man come with his French passport to Africa, he can travel throughout Africa with that French passport. If an African wants to travel through Africa, they got to have 5, 6 different passports to go to each country. So a European person with a European passport can travel more freely throughout Africa than a person that's born and raised in Africa.
Yeah.
Niger, I think Mali, Burkina Faso, they all coming together.
Hmm.
And they coming together to create a African Union. An African Union gonna make it where, hey man, we don't need y'all no more. And this is where Donald Trump tariff should come in. Donald Trump and his tariffs is gonna fuck America because it's allowing for a lot of nation states to see that they can trade amongst themselves
Yep.
without American currency. America really some gangster shit when it's like, hey, even if you ain't trading with us, we're gonna make sure our dollar is all around. That even if you trading amongst India and fucking Yugoslavia, you have to do it with American dollars. Well, the tariffs has incentivized for them to now trade and not use American dollars.
There you
So
go.
now that we have 95% of the world trading with each other and America not trading, the world still functioning, what does that show to the world about the global power of America? That either A was lying and it never was who it said it was, or B, it is no longer, you feel me, who they say they was. Because the rest of the world not able to trade with it. Go back to, so we take it back to Africa and I ran be over. The reason why I think this tariff shit is gonna be good for Africa is that it's like it literally incentivizes them to trade amongst themselves with their own currency,
Yep.
as well as being able to I feel like flex more on terms of autonomy. You know what I mean? I seen one country that's in that Sahel that was like, hey, locally, we are no longer accepting American dollars. We're gonna
Mhm.
strengthen our dollar. You gotta, if you locally buying some shit, you feel me, you gotta use our currency. We're gonna boost the value of our currency. We no longer gonna let the American dollar come here and be king and I like it's, you know what I mean?
And that's what it's going to take. But like in the meantime, I know when it comes to here in the US, um, a lot of people are talking, well, a lot of liberals are talking about, make sure you vote in the midterms, get ready for 2026. But I woke up this morning heated, like seeing that update about the birthright citizenship case and just seeing people kidnapped on the streets by people like unidentified federal agents and how we're being made to feel powerless. You know what I'm saying? So
For
what do
sure.
you do to feel powerful?
Man, we know that I'll get to this point actually. To me, the great Huey P. Newton said to define the phenomenon and make it act in a desired manner. He said that power is the ability to define the phenomenon and make it act in a desired manner. I'm gonna say it one more time. He said that power is defined as the ability to define a phenomenon and make it act in a desired manner. The question you asking me is how do we feel powerful in a country or in the world right now that's making us feel powerless? I think that we have to define the phenomenons that are being prescribed onto our bodies that make us feel powerless to define those phenomenons and make them act in a desired manner. So we're talking about fear, uncertainty, worry, oppression, feeling hopeless, all that shit. To me, define the phenomenon. Figure out what is making you feel this way and what can you do about it. Define the phenomenon, make it act in a desired manner. Right now, it's a lot of shit that's going on around me that's out of my control, but it's out of my control because I don't know as much about it. And there's certain things I'm gonna define the phenomenon and recognize that's out of my control. So I'm gonna figure out different ways to navigate around those things. And for me, that's what I'm doing. I don't have all the answers. I'm a little terrified. I'm a little scared. I'm a little, you know what I'm saying, uncertain. I'm a little worried as well. But right now, I'm doing work to figure out what's making me feel this way. And not just surface level, like, yeah, it's Donald Trump and Elon Musk and what he's doing, but thinking about what is the specific things that make me fearful.
Mhm.
And it's just like shit, define the phenomenon, make it act in a desired manner. It's like that's the reason why they had to kill Huey P. Newton or lock him up, I say. You feel me? That's the reason why they came for the Black Panther Party. It's because they were doing too much in empowering black people. And that shit that like just like Captain Traore in Burkina Faso empowering black people in Africa
Mhm.
threatens the establishment of the world. Niggas in America being empowered and inspired as well threatens the establishment of America. That's the reason why J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, said that the Black Panther Party was the biggest threat to domestic security because they know that they got to keep us down. They got to keep us a neck on it. They got to keep their foot on our neck. That's the reason why the white conservatives did their best to be able to overturn DEI. They
Yeah.
don't give a damn about white women being the most beneficiary of DEI. If white supremacy ain't taught you nothing, that these white folks will cut off their own nose to spite black people.
Yep.
So pointing out that veterans and Native, Asian people, and pointing out they benefited more from DEI does not negate the way that they are being able to weaponize DEI being bad right now. Niggas got something out of this. Black people, African Americans are unqualified. Even if they have credentials, it was given to them. We only the six people. They don't care about that. When they overturning DEI and they having DEI, what they was it? They had bounties. They had like a bounty list. It was all black women on that list, not white women. So we talk about the criminalization of DEI. That shit has a direct impact on black people, how we mobilize, how we get into things.
But like we see in Oklahoma when it comes to they will cut off their own arm just to make sure that somebody else they don't perceive someone else of a different race getting ahead. I mean, we're talking about Oklahoma being the state that voted for Trump at a higher rate than any other state. We're 49th in education. We're last in healthcare.
That
We
video coming too.
what's up?
That video coming as well. I got it.
I
I got to
mean,
queue it up. I don't like Ryan Walters at all. Ryan Walters is somebody I wanted to intellectually eviscerate, intellectually bust his ass on anything he's talking about when it comes to not only what's good for Oklahomans, but anything he's talking about education. I
Mhm.
don't think you know what he's talking about. I think that he is the greatest. Everything they say about DEI, it applies more to white men and conservatives. It's in the Republican Party more than anything. Ryan Walters is stupid.
Mhm.
He's unqualified. He has a historical understandings of what even not only happened in America, but what happened in Oklahoma.
Right.
He doesn't understand the Constitution and believes that public funds should be giving Bibles and shit to public school to students. He don't believe in freedom of religion. He believes that anything in the state of Oklahoma that goes against Christianity, it's like you don't know what you're talking about, bro. And because Kevin Stitt got your ass, I know Kevin Stitt incompetent as well, and that's the reason why you got to keep education in Oklahoma 49th because he know that once motherfuckers start getting educated, they're not rocking with you. If oh, in my opinion, if Oklahoma went from 49 to 45, a lot of shit in that state would change. That's the reason why they incentivize, in my mind, always already making sure rural Oklahoma don't get no funds and shit like that, and make sure inner city Oklahoma is always getting, you know what I'm saying, underfunded as well. You got to go to private school. Now your private school kids in Oklahoma gonna be getting that 10K just like they doing in Texas right now, and it's gonna be what it is.
But it does take empowerment for us to wake people up, and I do want to finish this conversation with an empowering event that's coming up. You're going to be hosting again Juneteenth on the East Side OKC. How you feeling about it?
I love it. Oklahoma, my second home. You know what I'm saying? Oklahoma is where I came a man, where I learned the most about myself in the world. I moved to Oklahoma when I was 18. I moved away from Oklahoma when I was like 31. So Oklahoma City, I always love coming to the city. I love being on the East. This year though, we got Big Crit.
Hey,
We got Big Crit as the headliner.
so we
It's
ready.
community too. You ain't got to pay nothing. You just pull up, see an amazing host, myself, me and Mandy B. Hold on, I'm say it again. You pull up and get a great host, myself and Mandy B. Big Crit would be the headliner. We're gonna have a lot of other amazing artists and talented people from around the state of Oklahoma, and shit is going down.
Yes, sir. ConsciousLee, we looking forward to having you. Oklahoma is always rocking with you. Anytime you coming down, we got you, and we're looking forward to it. And just keep educating them as much as you can. I don't know how you have the patience for it without cussing them all out, but I respect what you do.
Yeah, I cuss a little bit. I try not to cuss
All
them out
right.
as much, but sometimes they need sometimes some people sometimes the education has to be met with some people at. And
Right.
sometimes people love to be talked to in a particular manner. It don't mean that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like shit. All right, bring your ass here, man.
Hey,
Who
whatever it
told
takes.
you this?
Whatever it takes, brother. It's always good talking with you. Be safe.
All right, bro, for sure.